Hello, students. Is my voice is audible? Can any one of you please respond? Is my voice is audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So this is the case. Now we are considering the first function x1 of t is equal to e power minus at into u of t. In the latter, we have defined the Fourier Laplace transform pair x1 of t and x1 of s. And after that, we are going to see the basic definition of x1 of s. So according to that basic definition, integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into e power minus s into t, s into t into dt, s into t into dt, right? Now we need to substitute x1 of t here. Now what is x1 of t? What is x1 of t? So already we know that we have considered x1 of t is equal to e power minus at into u of t, so multiplied by e power minus st. So substitute the same here. So e power minus ad, e power minus at into u of t into e power minus st into dt. Now, according to the basic definition of unit step signal, according to the basic definition of unit step signal, so substitute u of t is equal to 1 from t greater than or equal to 0, and which is equal to 0 otherwise or elsewhere. So you need not determine the integration from minus infinity to plus infinity. So instead of defining or instead of determining the integration from minus infinity to plus infinity, so just it is enough to find out the integration only from 0 to infinity. Why? Because in this range only u of t value is equal to 1, and for the remaining values of time that signal is not defined. That means it is equal to 0. Okay. Now see here. So if I am taking negative sign common from both the exponential terms, so this is e power minus at and this is e power minus st. So if I take negative sign common from both the terms, you will get s plus a into t multiplied by dt. Okay, is it okay? Now the next step. So integral of exponential function, you will get minus 1 by s plus a. You will get minus 1 by s plus a multiplied by e power minus of s plus a, s plus a into t, and we are going to consider the limits of t 0 to infinity. So what you will get? So upon simplification of that one, you will get 1 by s plus a. So finally this is x1 of s. Please do remember, we need to prove the same answer for the second case also. So here, and that means you are going to prove that x1 of s is equal to x2 of s. And finally, the Laplace transform of the given functions is equal to 1 by s plus a. Now, what is the ROC, region of convergence? So to say the region of convergence for the first function to converge, so now consider this integration. So when this particular integral will converge, so whenever s plus a must be greater than 0, that is the real part of s, real part of s. So what is the real part of s? So already I told you that this is a complex parameter, so that is sigma plus j omega, sigma plus j omega. So in this case, real part of s is sigma must be greater than minus a. So here I am writing the Laplace transform and the region of convergence for the first function. So x1 of s is equal to x1 of s is equal to 1 by s plus a with the ROC, region of convergence, is the real part of s must be less than, oh sorry, greater than minus a. Okay, so real part of, see, real part of s is just nothing but simply it is sigma. Sigma is greater than minus a. So simply I can write it like this. The ROC of this first function is sigma greater than minus a. So please do remember, you are asked to prove x1 of s is equal to x2 of s with the different ROCs. Okay, now this is ROC1. This is ROC1. Now if you want to draw this, if you want to draw this ROC, now you see here, sorry, now I am drawing ROC1. So if I am taking this as minus sigma 1, okay, if I am taking this, sorry, if I am taking this as not minus sigma 1, this is minus a, minus a. That means, so by seeing this region of convergence, you must select the real part of s must be greater than or greater than minus a. So what is the region which is greater than minus a? Now you see here, now you see, so this one, so from minus a to infinity, so that is the region comes under the region of ROC1. ROC1, now you see the lines indicates that that is the region of convergence for the first function, so which is defined, okay, from minus a to infinity. So you can select any value in between minus a and infinity, so that that integration may converge, that integration may converge. Okay, so why I have taken s plus a greater than 0? If I have chosen s plus a less than 0, obviously you will have negative sign before the s plus a. If again it is negative, on a minus of minus, it will becomes positive. So in that particular case, it may not converge, it may diverge, it may diverge, right? So this is about the first case one, case one. So x1 of t. Now we are going to consider second case x2 of t, and again we need to determine the Laplace transform for that particular function, and the latter we will prove the Laplace transform of both the functions are equal. This is an important problem. Prove that the two functions are having same Laplace transform but different ROCs, but different ROCs. Again I will write this later, right? Now consider x2 of t, consider x2 of t. What is that x2 of t? So minus e power minus at into u of minus t minus 1, minus t minus 1. So what is the first step? So you need to define Laplace transform P. So where x2 of t and x2 of s. See, always the transformable variable is represented with the capital letters, not small letters. So here it is x2 of s. Now x2 of t and x2 of s are the Laplace transform P. So again, by seeing the definition, now you just see. I'm sorry, you won't have this one. So this is the case. Now, as per the definition of the Laplace transform, x2 of s is equal to x2 of s is equal to sigma. See, directly I am writing directly. So actually the definition, basic definition, you need to remember the definition. That's integration is defined from minus infinity to plus infinity, x of t into e power minus st. But instead of writing that entire things again, it may uh, looks different. Okay, so that's why I'm directly substituting the x2 of t here. So in this particular case, okay, we shall write it again like a definition, so that some people will have some idea to how to determine the Laplace transform again. So e power minus st into dt. Right, now, so this is also one-sided Laplace transform. Again, you should not determine minus here e power minus ut. You should not determine the integration from minus infinity to plus infinity into u of minus t into e power minus st into dt. Now what is the next step? Just carefully observe this. Minus integral minus infinity to 0. Why? Because u of minus t is the time reversal operation on u of t signal. U of minus t can be obtained by taking time reversal property on u of t signal. So u of minus t is equal to 1 from minus or t less than or equal to 0, which is equal to 0 elsewhere or otherwise. So for negative values of time, that signal is having magnitude 1. For positive values of time, that signal is not defined. So that is why I have changed the integration limits as minus infinity to 0. So e power minus at, e power minus at and e power minus st into dt. Is it not? Now, for this, I am going to take minus of minus infinity to plus infinity e power minus of s plus a into t. So before going to determine this, first of all, we have to change the order of integration limits. Order of integration. See how I am going to change the order of integration limits. This is, so minus infinity to plus minus infinity to 0 can be taken as from 0 to infinity, and that minus sign will goes to here, will goes to here. So what you will get? Minus of just wait a moment. So if I want to change the integration limits from, let us verify whether we will get the correct answer or not. Mm, So you just simplify this. You just simplify this step. So here I am writing it as minus of integral minus infinity to 0 e power. So I think this is the answer. So minus of s plus a into t into dt, right? So if we change the orders of integrations, if we change the orders of integration, this minus sign multiplied by this integration, obviously you will get the positive. So see how I am going to change the limits. So 0 to infinity e power minus of right, minus of, so I think this is correct, is it not? If you want to change, if you want to change the limits, instead of minus infinity to 0, now this negative sign will brings to here. So this you will get positive, minus of minus positive. So what you will get? So you will get minus of integral 0 to infinity e power s plus a, e power s plus a into t into dt. Is it not? Is it not? Just carefully observe this. So first of all, the integration limits have been changed from minus infinity to minus infinity to 0. So you will have e power minus at into e power minus st. If you take minus sign common from both the exponential terms, you will get e power minus of s plus a into t. Okay, so this minus sign will be kept as it is. There is no change at all. So next step, I am going to change the sign of the limits. Sign of the limits. So if I take the negative sign to exponential term, then it becomes positive. Minus of minus positive. This minus sign is becomes as it is. Now you see here. Uh, so what is the region of convergence for this function to be become converge? So if you consider the function as it is, definitely that function may diverge. But if you want to have the convergent function, you must select s plus a. S plus a should be, that means s plus a should be less than 0, less than 0. That means it must be negative value. Then only this integration may converge. Otherwise the integration may not converge, it will diverge. So from this we can say that real part of s, real part of s must be less than equal to less than minus a. So sigma must be less than minus a. Sigma must be less than minus a. So if s plus a becomes a negative, so obviously you will get the same Laplace transform, that is 1 by s plus a. Like the earlier case we have seen already, we have solved that Laplace transform of x1 of t is equal to 1 by s plus a. So similarly, if you select s plus a less than 0, then you will get the region of convergence. So according to that region of convergence, the real part of sigma must be less than 0, less than 0. So this is ROC1, sorry, ROC2. Now what is ROC1? So according to that ROC, sigma must be greater than minus a. So quite opposite. So quite opposite. So in both the cases, we have proved that the Laplace transform of x1 of t and x2 of t is same, but those two functions have different ROCs. Those two functions have different ROCs. So finally, we have proved, and what you have been asked, and we have proved that one. So this is another case. This is another case, and one more problem is there. We shall solve that problem also. We shall solve that problem also. Later on, we will see the next topics. Now, the next topic is find the inverse Laplace transform of the function. Find find the inverse Laplace transform of the function. Now what is the function? X of s is equal to, so till now you have been given x of t and you are asked to determine x of s. But in this particular problem, you have been given x of s and you are asked to determine x of t. So x of s is equal to s square plus 2s minus 2 divided by s into s plus 2 into s s minus 3, is it not? So this is the given function. This is not the obtained function, this is given function, and ROC is already given. See, whenever he has given, or he has given you the information regarding x of s, definitely the ROC of that function is mentioned in the problem itself. So ROC is real part of s must be greater than 3, must be greater than 3. Real part of s means sigma, sigma. Please do remember this one. So what we have to do now? So you have been given the Laplace transform x of s, and you are asked to determine inverse Laplace transform of the function. So if the given problem is like this, then what is the procedure we need to follow? That thing is very, very important. So already I think you have sufficient knowledge regarding the partial fraction expansions, partial fraction expansion method. So according to that partial fraction expansion method, this x of s can be splitted into three parts. So a by s plus b by s plus 2 my plus c by s minus 3. So this is x of s. So I think you have sufficient knowledge regarding the partial fraction expansions. So according to the partial fractions, I have resolved the total fraction into three parts. So first one is a by s plus b by s plus 2 plus c by s minus 3. So upon simplification, what is the value? See, directly I am giving you the value. This is obtained after the simplification. Now, so you will get a is equal to 1 by 3, b is equal to 1 by 5 minus 1 by 5, c is equal to 13 by 15. If you want, you can check this answer also. If you want, you can check this answer. So how do you check it? So you take the multiplication of s plus 2 s minus 3 in the denominator, the a into s plus 2 into s minus 3 plus b into s into s minus 3 plus c into s into s plus 2. So just you compare the uh, second order terms and the s terms and the constants, you will get the a value, b value, c value. So upon simplification, you will get all those values. So directly I'm writing the steps here. Please try to understand. So finally, you will get x of s is equal to, just you substitute the same. Just you substitute the same here. So 1 by s minus 1 by 5 into 1 by s plus 2 plus 13 by 15 into 1 by s minus 3. Okay, so simply I have substituted a value, b value, c value in the given expression, that is x of s is equal to a by s plus b by s plus 2 plus c by s minus 3. Okay, now apply inverse Laplace transform on both sides. Apply ILT. ILT means inverse Laplace transform. Apply ILT on both sides. So what you will get? So the inverse Laplace transform of x of s is x of t. X of t is equal to 1 by 3 into inverse Laplace transform of 1 by s minus 1 by 5 into inverse Laplace transform of 1 by s plus 2 plus 13 by 15 into Laplace inverse of, see, inverse Laplace transform can be denoted with L inverse. Okay, don't get confused. So Laplace inverse of s minus 3. See, already these are the standard functions of x of s. Already we have determined all these functions. So what is 1 by s? I think 1 by s is the Laplace transform of u of t, unit step signal. Already we have taken x of t is equal to u of t, and we have determined that Laplace transform also. And later on 1 by s plus a. What is on 1 by s plus a? I think you will have e power minus a. So you need to convert those functions to the known functions of x of t. Known functions of x of t. Now, what you will get? Let us see the final answer. So this you will get 1 by 3 into 1 by s. 1 by s. So what is the Laplace transform of Laplace transform of 1 by s? Reverse Laplace transform of 1 by s. I think you will get u of t, u of t minus 1 by 5 into e power minus 2t into u of t. See, at the time of determining the Laplace transform, I told you the importance of determining the Laplace transforms of standard functions. If you know the determination of Laplace transform for those standard functions, obviously you can directly substitute whenever you are getting these type of problems. So inverse Laplace transforms are very, very important. So while doing the inverse Laplace transforms, you require the knowledge of the Laplace transform of the original functions. So again, you need not derive e power minus 2t into u of t is equal to 1 by s plus 2. Directly, you can substitute that, and you have to write down that we know that the Laplace transform of e power minus 2t into u of t is equal to 1 by s plus 2. If you bring that Laplace transform to the right hand side, obviously you will get the inverse Laplace transform of the function 1 by s plus 2, and you will have only the function x of t here. So plus 13 by 15, 13 by 15, and you will get, I think you will have e power 3t into u of t. So this is the final answer. This is the final answer. Please, all of you look at this. So till now we have solved the Laplace transform for the given function x of t. And now in this case we have just determined the solution for the inverse Laplace transform of the function x of s. Okay. Do you have any doubts? Do you have any doubts regarding this today's topic? If you have any doubts regarding today's topic, please just raise your hand so that I will clarify your doubts. And one more thing is a very important notice. See, don't blindly follow the notices circulated through WhatsApp groups. So any circular that is circulated without prior approval from the authorities, that will not be valid. That will not be valid. So you have to follow the circulars which will be signed by the college authority. That means principals are. So whenever you are getting that type of message, don't blindly think that that is correct. Officially, we are going to circulate the notices through our WhatsApp groups, not anywhere else. If that official circulation comes from any one of the faculty who are coming to your classes, then that will be trustable. Otherwise, you don't trust that type of messages. Don't blindly follow that. Don't blindly forward the same to the friends. Same to your friends also. These are the very important points you need to remember, right? So that's the end of the session. Thank you. And from the next class onwards, we shall start the properties of Laplace transforms. Okay.